So this iPad Air 4 came in dead, showing no signs of life. When plugged into a working charger, it would draw no power. Upon inspecting its motherboard, I noticed that the power management chip had a visible burn on it. So here I thought this was going to be a straightforward repair, and I proceeded to take the power management chip off. Upon taking a closer look, I noticed that the chip itself had a pretty bad burn on it. I didn't notice this at first, but parts of the chip had actually welded themselves to the board. In order to fix it, I had to scrape it very carefully with a knife to get rid of bits of the chip that had welded themselves to the traces on the board, and also to get rid of the carbon that had formed on the motherboard because of the burning chip. After masking the exposed copper on the motherboard with some UV mask, it was finally ready for the new PMIC. Replacing the chip, however, was not the end of the repair. We still had a short circuit. I used a thermal camera to quickly locate the failed component, and then I proceeded to take it off the motherboard. After taking the capacitor off, it is the moment of truth. Is the short gone? Okay, so with the capacitor removed, if we check that line, it is now no longer a short circuit. And if we check the capacitor itself, it is fully short circuit. The device is fixed. We will power it on and check. Before powering the iPad on, we'll harvest the capacitors from a donor board and solder them onto ours. Okay, after replacing the capacitors, the line diode mode reading on the line is 0.416, which is nice and healthy. Let us prompt this iPad to boot, and we'll see what happens. All right, here goes nothing. Let us plug the iPad in. Then let's look at the amp meter. Awesome. Looks like the iPad is fixed and is trying to boot. If it works correctly, it will complete a boot cycle, go up to about 1 amps, and then restart. Look at that. Excellent. 2 amps, but excellent. It is working. Device is fixed. I'm going to reassemble the iPad in its housing, and then we'll test it once again. All right, so it is the next morning. The iPad is installed in its housing. Let's plug it in and see what it does. There we go. All right, we have Apple logo, and it's drawing 14 volts at 1.5 amps. The iPad is fixed. And look at that, the device boots fully, and the touch works. Excellent. Device is fixed.